Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp. Today we had the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase for July 2025, of course. Now I'm currently away on holiday, so I'm not going to do a full run through of the whole presentation. I'll be honest, I just didn't see it in enough depth and therefore have enough insight to do it justice. But I am going to tell you my 5 most anticipated moments from it, the 5 things I'm looking forward to most. So what are they? Well, let's find out. Let's start with the first one I'm looking forward to then, and that's Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, coming out in 2026. I'll be honest, when I first saw Monster Hunter, didn't quite take in the next word being stories. I got very excited. Not quite as excited for it to be a stories game as I would a fully fledged Monster Hunter game. But having said that, I do enjoy both the other stories games, 1 and 2, that are both on the Switch. And these are turn-based RPGs, of course, as opposed to the more action-orientated Monster Hunter games, the full games in the series. This one says, Twin Rathalos, born in a twist of fate, their appearance sets the stage for a new tale of riders and Rathalos to unfold. Become a rider, bond with monsters, and explore the vibrant world of Monster Hunter in this next evolution of the Monster Hunter Stories series. It's nice to see this series go from strength to strength, and anything with the name Monster Hunter in it doing well can only bode well for a series that I absolutely love. I do hope, though, that we will get, a proper, for want of a better way of putting it, Monster Hunter game on the Switch 2 at some point in the not too distant future. Then we have Final Fantasy Tactics. Now, this is releasing on the 30th of September 2025 for the Nintendo Switch 2. And there's a Switch 1 version launching on the same day, I believe. Now, Final Fantasy Tactics is a game I've never really played, to be honest. I've played some of the other Final Fantasy games, but back at this time, back in the day, I had a Nintendo 64. Round about that sort of age, I must have been about 13, 14, I guess. You only had one console. You had either the PlayStation or the N64, and your mates would have the other, and you'd swap games and go to each other's houses and whatnot. But I didn't have the PlayStation, so this is a game I've never really played. I did play Revenant Wings, which was on the DS, which was a tactics Final Fantasy game. It was based on, or was a spin-off of Final Fantasy 12, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I enjoyed that one, and I like tactics games in general. They're not my favourite types of RPGs. I'm quite a stickler for traditional turn-based, and I do like action RPGs as well. But yeah, tactics games do interest me to a smaller degree. And I'd definitely be interested in giving this one a try after all these years. I do remember reading that some of the PSP additional content isn't included here. I'm not quite sure why. I did read source code and things like that. Square Enix haven't been the best over the years of keeping that safe and making sure it's not lost. So I don't know if it's anything to do with that. If you know more about it than me, undoubtedly so you will, then please do stick it in the comments section below. But yeah, this one, pre-orders are already available on the eShop as we speak, if it's one you're also looking forward to, and do feel free to let me know a bit more about this particular game if you played it back in the day. Okay, next we have Chronos The New Dawn, which comes from Bloober Team, and this is a third-person survival horror game. Now, Bloober Team, of course, have got some form when it comes to horror games, albeit for the most part first-person, from what I can remember at least. They did the Layers of Fear game, of course, and its sequel. They did the Blair Witch game, I'm fairly sure. They did handle the Silent Hill 2 remake, though, so they have some experience in third person, I guess, as well. Silent Hill 2, that's a game. I had that back in the day on the PlayStation 2, and I lent it to a mate and never got it back, and that's worth a pretty penny these days. That's very annoying. Have you ever done that? Have you ever lent a game out and not had it returned? Yeah, that does annoy me. But yeah, back to this one. It says that time plays a big part in this particular game. You'll need to dive into 2 different periods, one being the future, a brutal future it says, and then you'll go back to 1980s Poland. It says stop nightmarish creatures from merging into unstoppable abominations and survive by bending time itself, and this releases on the Switch 2 on the 5th of September. I do like the look of this one, I like the sound of it, I must say. Reminds me quite a lot, at least from the bits I saw in the trailer, of Dead Space. Certainly has a Dead Space vibe to it. Definitely those future parts of the game at least. And I'm always up for a new horror game. I've been playing the Resident Evil remake of the first game recently again, doing a knife only run, which has been very difficult but a lot of fun. So yeah, always up for a new horror game. The penultimate one that I'm going to talk about is Persona 3 Reload, and I'm excited for this for a number of reasons. First of all, Persona 3's one in the series I've not really played very much. I've said on the channel before that I have always been more into the Shin Megami Tensei side of this kind of franchise, if you like, that's spawned out into separate franchises almost, but you know what I mean. But Persona, I've played 4, I've played a little bit of 5, but I've never really played the third one, and it would be nice to play it in terms of this remake, of course, that released, I think it was last year elsewhere. But also, I think it bodes well for what could come in the future. And most particularly, I'm talking about games like Metaphor could well be on their way to the Switch 2, bearing in mind this one is going to make an appearance. The 23rd of October is the date given for this on the Switch 2, as I may have mentioned. I'm not sure if I did. But yeah, it would be nice to really finally deep dive into one of the Persona games, because like I said, I've always played the other kind of side of the franchise, if you like, with the exception of 4 that I did put a decent amount of time into. So yeah, this is one that I am looking forward to. And the final one that I'm going to mention, there are a fair few others that caught my eye, but like I said, I'm going to keep it to 5, namely because I'm on holiday and I want to get back to the family. But it's Plants vs Zombies Replanted. Now, this is one of my favourite games of all time. The original Plants vs Zombies that I played on Xbox Live, and I also had on the DS, and that was a very good port on the DS, obviously utilising the touchscreen. Hopefully this one will too. So this has been remastered with upscaled HD graphics and packed with new secrets to uncover, as per the blurb. It says there are new levels, fresh twists, and 15 years of never-before-seen franchise history at your fingertips. I think this is one of the most simple yet incredibly rewarding video game concepts I've ever played. It's classic tower defense to some degree, but the spin on it and the way that you could change the battlefield completely, and had to at times, starting with the row of sunflowers to get your power, the pea shooters, the ice shooters, all sorts of others, and the types of enemies that attacked you, and the way that just seeing them chomping through your flowers and your heart's racing. Fantastic game. Honestly, I spent so much time on this game back in the day. And I've been saying since the Switch 1 released, I'd love to see this game brought to it. We got the more action-orientated ones. What was it? Battle for Neighborville, I think we got on the Switch. And I really enjoyed that one, by the way. But yeah, I really am looking forward to diving back into that original game on the Switch 2. I believe it's coming to the Switch as well, which is great. And that one is slated for a 23rd of October release. So there we have it. That's my 5 picks from this Nintendo Direct Partners Showcase. Do let me know what you thought of the whole thing. I didn't really go into that. Like I said, I am a bit pressed for time today. What were your impressions of it? Did you expect more? Were you happy with what we got? And what are you most looking forward to with the games mentioned? Yeah, stick it all in the comment section below. Don't forget, if you're looking for eShop credit, you can use our website, switchup.gg, to get your eShop cards, and you get 5% of your purchase price back as cashback. Thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.